Welcome back to the channel. I'm Chris.
And I'm Chris.
And we still don't know who the channel's named after. So we're still working on that. But anyway, so this week or month or whenever we decide to get around to making videos when we have time, we are working on Project White Trash again for the first time in 7 or 8 months or something like that. For those who don't know, White Trash is my car. It's 1988 Ford Mustang GT. It is white and it is trash. The car hasn't been on the road since 1999 or 2000, but I believe it was 99. It was my car when I was a teenager in my early 20s, and I tore it apart, and then I never touched it again until recently. So in this video, we attempt to get the front suspension, the front end of the car together, and get wheels mounted on it and get the front end of the car rolling and moving. Spoiler alert, we failed. We didn't even come close. But pretty sure the people watching these videos just naturally assume we failed coming in. I don't think anyone watched this going, let's see what they accomplished this week. I think it's more like, let's see what these idiots screwed up this week. But anyway, we failed. Car hasn't moved at all. I just kind of did some random things and rambled on a little bit. Got a couple of pieces attached to the car, but still sitting where it was sitting. Can't actually tell we did anything. But someone here in this room, not naming names, not publicly shaming anyone, someone here is only around part-time these days. So if you're available and want to come help me, submit resumes to the email attached to the account. Just title it like I want to be the new Chris Jr. or something like that. And for now, it is an unpaid internship. See, I can't pay you unless something happens and I actually make money off this. Right now, I'm losing a lot of money. So much money on this. I'm just buying car parts and throwing them at something that's going to financially ruin me like the Tiger King. So, all right. Well, that's it. You have anything to add, boy? No. Man, a few words as usual. But anyway, let's get on to White Trash. Finally back to working on White Trash for the first time in 7 or 8 months, really. Got distracted with Junior's car, which is right here. Looking amazing as always. Beautiful. But I got the steering rack and the front control arms out. Soaking them, power washing them, trying to clean them up a little bit. And under here, I'm about to try to get the front cross member bolted back up. The last time I left off this car, I started some prime and paint under here, and I can't remember what happened. Got distracted in the middle, had to go do something else. Kind of never came back. At some point off camera, don't remember when, I did go and I did paint the cross member though. I actually stripped it down, primed it, and painted it. Came out all right. I've managed to nick a couple of spots here and there, moving it around, but not too bad. I mean, it's just a cross member. Once I get it in, I can always touch it up a little. It's going to get pretty jacked up anyway. But let's see if I can get this thing installed. Oh boy, was I about to panic. I crawled under here, and there were no bolts under here. And then I remembered I took them out to paint for reasons. But I believe I found them. I can't believe it, but I think I put them all together. I'm pretty sure these are them. Hopefully. So I'm going to try to get started on this. Well, I think and I hope that these things slide over here to that hole. And then these bolts come up through the control arm or through the cross member and come up here and thread into these. I think and I hope, but I don't remember. It's been quite a long time now. I was going to just throw this back together and say to heck with it. And then I got in here and remembered how greasy it was. I'm doing some basic degreasing. I don't have time to properly restore the car and do it. I really just want my car back. It doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be together. I can always come back under here and just crawl under a fender and clean up, but for now I just got to do some basic degreasing and get this back together. I know you can't really tell very well, but I went ahead and just hit the open rust spots under here with some Rust Restorer. That's the light gray you're seeing. It's really cold in here. It's like in the 30s in Texas for some reason, and it's I missed a spot, but I'm just spraying the active open rust spots for now, cover them up. Stuff isn't really sticking or anything, but it's better than nothing. Hopefully that'll keep them sealed until I can get in here and actually get some work done. Since I had the pressure washer out and I had to get this stuff out of the way anyway, I decided to break out my old fenders and nose cone and bring it out here and just power wash it. I mean, I'm not going to paint this thing or anything, not for a few years. I'm just going to spray it off a little, just have something to do, just kind of sense of accomplishment a little bit. Oh wow, wow, that's truly horrible, man. Who would have thought laying around and getting thrown around a garage for just a mere 25 years would leave these things in this poor condition? News to me. Lesson learned. Stop at 24 years. Wow, that's absolutely hideous. And I completely forgot that this was not my factory nose, as the car was wrecked in like 1997 or 1998 and rebuilt. And I'm gonna say the donor was purple. Yes, it's all coming back to me now. There, I don't know if the light will pick it up. It's almost dark here, but yeah, that is definitely purple. Very, very purple. And for the love of God, I do not know what's going on with these lights, but I didn't go and buy these corner lights a week ago, a month ago, a year ago. They're all the same age. These are all together. They all came from the same place, all taken apart in 1999, all stored in the same place, but these outer markers look awesome and the others look like trash. Luckily, the only thing in Texas that they do liberally is allow you to pretty much get away with anything on an antique car, which this will be. So I don't actually need headlights for now. I mean, technically if I drive at night I do, but to get it registered and inspected I do not, because we don't do an inspection on antique cars. God bless the great estate. Wow, that's absolutely hideous. And I completely forgot that this was not my factory nose, as the car was wrecked in like 1997 or 1998 and rebuilt. And I'm gonna say the donor was purple. Yes, it's all coming back to me now. There, I don't know if the light will pick it up. It's almost dark here, but yeah, that is definitely purple. Very, very purple. And for the love of God, I do not know what's going on with these lights, but I didn't go and buy these corner lights a week ago, a month ago, a year ago. They're all the same age. These are all together. They all came from the same place, all taken apart in 1999, all stored in the same place, but these outer markers look awesome and the others look like trash. Luckily, the only thing in Texas that they do liberally is allow you to pretty much get away with anything on an antique car, which this will be. So I don't actually need headlights for now. I mean, technically if I drive at night I do, but to get it registered and inspected I do not, because we don't do an inspection on antique cars. God bless the great estate. Oh man, that was not fun. I had to bench press this into place myself and then hold it with one arm and start the nuts with the other, and that's where the strength and conditioning comes in. Green Hill Strength Conditioning, Auto Repair, and General Debauchery. Oh, it was not fun. 2 out of 10. Do not recommend at all. Whew. One thing I just realized, this is actually kind of adjustable side to side. I do not like that. I remembered the bolts holes just being straight and went in one position and one position only. There's no way to mess this up. Now I've got to figure out how to align it and get it perfectly straight, because it does have some side to side adjustment. Definitely a 2 out of 10. Do not recommend. All right, back to work. She is in, and she is beautiful. I feel accomplished. She is, however, not perfectly straight. Yeah, let's zoom in. You can see that sticking out there. That is not sticking out there. Why won't you zoom? Stop it. Zoom. There we go. Yeah, not even. Got this bubble over here, and that one's sticking out really far. So I need to go back in, straighten it out a little bit at some point, but you know what? That's future Chris's problem. Future Chris isn't in today. Also probably future Chris Jr.'s problem for not being here and helping me. And if you were wondering, yeah, where is your boy? Where is Chris Jr.? It's a great question. I don't know. He's a very busy middle teenager. He's presumably off doing middle teenager things with other middle teenagers. Probably full of angst and drama if I recall my teenage years. But then again, I am closer to my 50s, 60s. Oh my God, I'm closer to my 70s than I am my teens. Oh God, I'm depressed. I might actually go cry now. I was feeling so good getting this lined up, and now I just want to go have a little teenager cry. The thought I'm closer to 70 than I am my teens. Anyway, moving on. The top of this entire passenger side frame rail or unibody rail or whatever you want to call it is rusted pretty bad, so I'm going over it with a little bit of Rust Restore. Again, it's like 30 degrees. It's not going to look beautiful. It's not going to set properly, but hopefully it'll stop the oxidation and let me get on with doing other things and not worrying about it just getting cancer. So far I've been lucky. Everything in this car is surface rust. I'm trying to keep it that way. I know. You're not supposed to just Rust Restore and forget it and move on, but that's what I'm doing. Right now I'm really regretting starting the process of painting the engine bay white. I started that a year ago when I was going to take all this time and restore the car properly, and got distracted. Things happened, life happened. Then we got Junior's car, focused on it, didn't come back to this car at all, and now I just regret that decision because the white is going to be so hard to maintain. I mean, it looks good from 10 feet away, but it's going to be so difficult to maintain. It's just going to chip. It's going to be a nightmare, and I wish I hadn't done it. But a little late now. I wish I would have gone back to just flat black, but then I'd need to take off the cross member, and nope, no going back now. I was going to try to put my steering rack and control arms on, but something is amiss. This side has the control arm bolts. This side's missing both of them. I don't know why. This side is also missing both castle nuts. I don't know why. This side's missing one castle nut for reasons. At least I have that one. I can go match it somewhere. I don't even have the steering rack ends. I've got one sway bar link, not over here. And mainly, I don't have my steering rack bolts. I have no idea why. I'm also a little concerned here because I was pretty sure those are just supposed to be threaded in the back there. I've tried several long bolts back there, and I cannot get anything to thread. So, I'm not sure what's going on there. I'm guessing this is going to be it for the day. Not much else I can do without bolts. So I guess I got some ordering to do. I went ahead and put the steering rack on the shackles or rods or whatever you want to call them anyway. If I remember correctly, I think the bolts come in from the back and nut on the front with washers. We just did Junior's here a couple of months ago. I think that's what it is, but that still doesn't explain where they went because I don't have anything long enough. I don't have any bolts with nuts and washers or anything that look like they belong. So, not sure what happened there. I'm pretty sure they were here last year when I did the video about the car. Then I took this thing out and painted it. I'm not sure what I did with them, but I know I did not take off the castle nuts off the steering. I don't know what's going on there. Oh, the temperature in Texas has dropped all the way into the low teens. So that's it for my weekend. Nothing else I can do. It's actually just a little bit below freezing. And inside the garage right now, it's like 30, 31. So paint isn't sticking. There's really not much else I can do. It was yesterday when I put the Rust Restore and kind of shot a coat of paint over this, and it's still tacky. It's been over 24 hours. I have to get to the inside of the car, and one of the next things I want to do is I want to coat the roll cage in some Rust Restore. It's all surface rust, and get in there, but there's a bunch of stuff stacked in the way, and should have taken my hood out and hosed it off. But anyway, gonna come back hopefully after our 1 week of winter is over and try to get some stuff done. Well, it's another week, and I was about to be really upset at UPR because, as you can see, I still don't have bolts for the steering rack to put on here, and I swore I ordered the bolts. I went back to the UPR website, and they were still in the cart a couple of days later. Had not ordered them, so I've ordered them now, and they'll be here in a couple of more days. So I didn't get to do that. I'm pretty busy today and tomorrow. I've been busy today. I'll be busy tomorrow. Still haven't gotten new castle nuts for the steering arms. I still need to take, where are they? Those bolts over there out of the control arms and go match them. See if I can find a match at a hardware store so I can get this back on. Weather's still freezing-ish here in Texas, so no more paint work. I'm kind of stuck where I'm at right now, but I got some exciting news over here. Project White Trash has its new camshaft. So I got this on sale dirt cheap on Amazon. I'm guessing Elgin cams, whatever, clears them out on occasion. This was $200 shipped. Best price on a cam I've ever seen. It's not a small cam. It's not huge, but it's not tiny. It's about the equivalent of a Trick Flow Stage 2. It's a 542 by 563 split pattern cam, 112 lobe separation. I can't record and look at this. A 224, 232 duration. The Elgin E1836P. And I was a little nervous ordering it off Amazon because I was afraid it was going to be, I can't believe it's not Elgin fake cam. But it comes in an Elgin box with an Elgin cam card and an Elgin receipt. Made in the USA, shipped directly from Elgin. So it is real. I contacted them and confirmed it. So I am happy. This should sound amazing. It's going to be a while before I get to run it, but it should sound just like a Trick Flow Stage 2 camshaft, pretty much. It's kind of their version of it. They make a version of the Trick Flow Stage 1 also, but for $200 shipped, couldn't go wrong with this thing. Because I'm paranoid, I came out here and measured the lift on the cam. The cam lobe from the base circle to the peak of lift is 0.351, which comes out to a 563 exhaust lift if multiplied by 1.6 roller rockers. So the cam is the size it says it is. I would show you this, but I only have two hands. I can hold a camera, I can hold calipers, or a cam. I can hold any two of the three. I cannot hold all three at once, but I did measure this, and that on the exhaust valve, oops, 563, so close enough. I guess I could measure lobe separation angle and duration and all that if I really hated myself that much, but I'm going to just trust that this is the cam that the box says it is. It's good enough for me. It's a few days later, and my UPR steering rack bolts finally came in. Who would have thought that if you actually pay for something, they might send it to you? I guess I expected to just stay in my cart forever and them just send it to me out of the goodness of their heart. Now, what I could not find online, well, not for a reasonable price, were the control arm bolts. These bolts. That was outrageously expensive. So what I did is I went down to the hardware store and I found some very, very similar bolts and nuts. And I just got those for way less than half the price of the real thing online. If anyone's wondering, your control arm bolts here on the front of the engine, or for the front of the suspension, are M16 thread by 120 millimeters long. I'm sure there's a standard bolt that would work also, but I just went ahead and got the same thing as the originals. This thing has been soaking in PB Blaster for like 3 days, and I still cannot get it off. I'm of course talking about the Castle nut up there. It is being stubborn. I want to take it off so I can go find a Castle nut of similar size. That's it for tonight. Hopefully I can get up early tomorrow and start getting all this stuff assembled, even without those Castle nuts. I'd like to get the control arms on, get everything mounted. I know I'm going to need a new rag joint in here, but I just kind of want to get the steering wheel hooked up, and I'd really like to just be able to see it and have it look like a real car for a few minutes underneath the hood for a few minutes. And then after that, I'm going to try to get the steering column hooked up inside. I'm just going to see what I can get done. I'd like to be able to start preparing this thing for wheels here soon. Oh, and I guess I should just go ahead and Canyon Lake rebuild this thing, you know, rust restore it, because my brake pedal assembly is pretty rusty. There's Chris rust reforming the brake pedals, or the brake and clutch pedal assembly. Little Canyon Lake rebuild there. Just rust reform it and forget it. I tried to put the UPR steering rack bolts in, and I ran them all the way, but they're not reaching. It looks like they're long enough, but I can't quite get the steering rack to seat all the way in. So I'm going to try putting the front control arms on and see if that makes it a little bit easier to adjust the steering rack without these things hanging off of it. Well, that went on in about 30 seconds. Shockingly drama-free. So I haven't tightened it down or anything, but it's on, bolted and nutted on. On to the next one. Since I actually have a helper today, I'm making him actually earn his keep for once. It's been a while. So I'm having him put on this control arm since he saw me put on the other one. Alright, and Junior got his side on, pretty drama-free. Ooh, that is dirty and ugly. Kind of now wish I'd have taken those out and painted them, primed them, something. At least degreased them, but oh well, too late. Junior's wire wheeling the brake rotors. I was going to put the brake rotors on here as I was able to get the support nut off. The other side is missing the nut, so hopefully I can size match that, but this Castle nut is still stuck after days of soaking in PB Blaster. I've tried a cheater bar, I've tried everything. Just can't quite get it off so I can go size match it. And of course, I don't know what size that one is. I'll have to look it up. Hopefully go to the store and get some matching Castle nuts here soon, and also get some cotter pins. But it doesn't mean much without the struts. I have no idea where the struts have gone. They are GOA. I got tired of asking that thing and used the impact gun. It came right off. I sometimes forget I have an impact gun to use. I'll have to keep that in mind for some of these stubborn ones. Taking a small time out from Project White Trash to come work on Junior's carburetor. It backfired really hard the other night, and I was worried about this. It popped the choke cable off the bottom again. It's backfiring and blowing this off the backside. I'm not sure what's going on with that. It is taking forever to warm up, no matter how I set the choke. And if you try to drive it before it's 100% completely ready, it is backfiring and popping like crazy. So I'm gonna try to put this thing back on. I don't know what is going on. These UPR steering rack bolts are seated all the way in. You can see it's nowhere near reaching. I don't understand. I don't know what I could possibly do to make these things reach. I don't have the factory ones to compare them to. It says this is what these bolts are for, but it's not even close at this point. All right, I don't know what is going on. I had to take the steering rack back off. There's the UPR bolt. I don't know what is going on here and why it doesn't fit. I am really not happy now. I had to go to the lengths of pulling out one of the tubes for the steering rack out of the cross member, and you can see the bolt's not even as long as the tube. I'm not sure what's going on with that. I have to contact UPR, I guess. I got tired of playing with those UPR bolts. I am going to make my own using a large piece of all thread and a bunch of washers and some nuts. And I'm just going to cut this to the length I need to be able to make it all the way through there and be able to tighten this down and draw that rack on all the way. And I'm just going to do that. I'm pretty fed up with those UPR bolts. I'm going to try to return them. So I doubt I'm going to get to this today. I've got some other things I've got to go do, but that's what I'm going to do for the steering rack. All right, so we got that all thread for the steering rack at our local Ace Hardware. Then we went next door to O'Reilly's and we got this. We got all new hardware for all our missing castle nuts. So this, the spindle nut, comes with the spindle washer and a cotter pin and the little cover, I can't remember what they're called, the castle cover, the keeper that keeps the nut from backing out, and the cotter pin. That's a complete kit, and that fits, and that is Dorman 04994, and fits perfectly for this car. Unfortunately, they only had one in stock, so they're ordering me another one. I'll be here tomorrow, but I'll be working. And also, I got a random castle nut assortment kit, and it fit the two castle nuts that I needed. They also only had one of these. It's on order, so I'll probably pick it up here in a couple of days when I'm off. The castle nut part is 13559 from Dorman, and that just happens to be both the castle nuts I need. So when I go back to get these two new kits, I'll also get 4 new cotter pins to hold those in place. So that's awesome. That worked out great. Here's our freshly painted and refreshed pedal assembly for white trash. Black again. Just coat it with some Rust Restore, put the clutch quadrant back on it, and it's ready to rock. All right, well, we got our all thread cut. We ran the first one. Junior is tightening up the washer and the nut on that side, and it's going to be a little extra long out here on the front side, but we'll adjust it or cut it down later. But point being is that this is going to work, and those expensive bolts I bought were not. All right, there we go. Junior and I have got this all together. We got the power steering rack seated and installed. It's not as good as factory. It's better because it works and it's easy to use, and we've got lock washers in there to hold it in place, and we shouldn't have any more problems. All right, that's probably going to do it for this video. Not a whole lot else we can do. I might come back in a few days and start doing some more stuff. I'm not sure. We'll see. All right, I'm bringing this video to an end. I've got other things to do. Sadly, I can't find the struts, and I can't find some of the brake pieces that I need. I did not get the front end on this thing. I didn't get the wheels and the brakes put on. I didn't get the tires put on. I didn't get it set down in the front on the ground like I had hoped. Sadly, it's going to have to wait a little while. I've got to try to find my struts and try to find some other stuff buried somewhere here in the garage. But I just realized my sway bar link is missing off this side, but it's on the other side. I'm missing one of everything on this side for some reason. I'm pretty sure someone pillaged my car over the years. I used to kind of be the parts depot here locally. Anyway, so didn't get this done. I'll be moving on to other things, and I'll come back to this as I find the parts, or I'll have to make a Rock Auto purchase here soon to try to get everything together. But I am moving on to other things now. And those other things are beginning my engine rebuild, the fun stuff. Yes, all ARP hardware, Melling, sealed power, all the things. So that'll be going into this. Not the gloves. The engine. Yes. I know it doesn't look like much right now, but I'm going to start on that hopefully next week. And at the rate things are going, I'll have a short block video out, in a mere 90 days or so. What should take a week will probably take 12. All right, till next time. Later.